week 8 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few centers you could go out there, buy low, or just trade for in general this week. The first guy's Jarrett Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers on the season. Allen, he's ranked 60th in fantasy basketball, 11.5 points a game, 8.8 rebounds, 1.5 steals, 1.7 blocks a game, 78% from the foul line, 66% from the field for Allen. The last couple weeks, the numbers haven't been all that great. And even since the James Harden trade, 9 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.5 blocks, 91% from the foul line, and 54% from the field for Allen. So Allen, the last 3 games, they've been decent for him, but not like the big numbers he put up early in the season. February 5th versus Milwaukee, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a 3. Then February 6th versus Milwaukee, again, 2.7 rebounds, a block. And then February 8th at Phoenix, 14 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and he shot 71% from the field. So Allen, we know he's a great talent. We saw him put up big ball games early in the season when he was on Brooklyn, when he was the starter and stuff, playing over DeAndre Jordan. But right now, Allen, he's still getting the playing time, but Andre Drummond is obviously ahead of him. And Andre Drummond, he's having a big year with about 13 rebounds a game. So Allen's rebound stats and his scoring has gone down a little over the last few weeks and ever since this trade. And right now, I think you could go out there and buy him on a decent price is Jarrett Allen. And Andre Drummond, he's an expiring contract after the season. So I could see him getting traded by the deadline next month or Cleveland buying him out. So he's the first center I would look to buy low this week. The second guy is his former teammate, DeAndre Jordan of the Brooklyn Nets. DeAndre Jordan, he's been up and down this season with Brooklyn, but he's still playing starter minutes. He's playing about 25, 30 minutes a game on most nights, is Jordan. And on the season, he's ranked 165 in fantasy basketball, 6.8 points a game, 6.8 rebounds a game, 1.8 assists, 1.3 blocks a game, 52% from the foul line, which he was never a good foul shooter, and 80% from the field. So Jordan, over the last few weeks, he's been up and down, but he's been playing better the last couple games. Versus Toronto, February 5th, 10 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 2 blocks. Then February 6th at Philly, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. And then at Detroit last night, a pretty decent game for Jordan. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, but 5 turnovers that hurt some owners in that category. But anyway, Jordan, he's not putting up huge stat lines, obviously, like he did in Los Angeles or with Dallas, but he's still a decent player. He's still getting starter minutes, and he's the only big man still really on that net roster, in my opinion. They got Perry, they got Claxton, and they got Noah Vonleh, but I don't think Vonleh will play much. So DeAndre Jordan, he's the starter there. He's getting the minutes, and he's going to have some big nights and some off nights, and I think you could buy him on a decent price right now. The next center I would look to buy low or trade for this week, Steven Adams of the New Orleans Pelicans. Adams, a few times this season, he's been on the list. On the season, he's 169 in fantasy basketball with 8.5 points a game, 9.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1 steal a game, 46% from the foul line, which he can't shoot free throws at all, and 59% from the field. But the last few weeks, his ranking's really taken a hit. 234 in the last couple weeks, 6.7 points a game, 10.1 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.7 steals, 33% from the foul line, and 52% from the field for Adams. So Adams, I thought he was going to turn the corner after we saw 2 great games out of him. February 3rd, he had 11 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. Then February 5th at Indiana, 12 points, 12 boards, shot 100% from the field. And then the last 2 games, it's been pretty bad for Adams. Versus Memphis, February 6th, 4 points, 2 rebounds, an assist and a block. And then in a blowout victory versus Houston last night, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So Adams, he's putting up some games numbers that you could find on the waiver wire, but I think Adams could turn it around. Maybe he's still adjusting to a new system with his new team, obviously, here in New Orleans. So I think he could get things going and play well here. So I think you could get Adams on a cheap deal, a 1-for-1 deal, or even a 2-for-1 deal, where you give up a guy and you get a good player and Adams on top of it. Because I think he could produce, and we've seen signs of it this season, where he had a 20-rebound game and an 18-rebound game. And he's just got to get back in rhythm and back to form, I believe, with this Pelican team after coming off a minor injury. The fourth center I would look to buy low and trade for this week's DeMarcus Cousins of the Houston Rockets. Christian Wood, he's going to be out a while, it looks like, with the ankle injury. And Cousins, he's going to be the man over there now, playing anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes a game. On the season, he's ranked 177 with 8.8 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.4 threes a game, awful 34% from the field, 72% from the line. And the last couple weeks, his stats are pretty similar to what he's been putting up on the season. Is DeMarcus Cousins, 8.8 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 2 assists a game, 1.6 threes, 35% from the field. And the last couple games, he's been pretty decent. February 6th versus San Antonio, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Then versus Charlotte, February 8th, 9 points, 9 boards, an assist, 3 steals. And then at New Orleans last night in a 29-point loss, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 12% from the field for DeMarcus Cousins. So Cousins, he's going to have a major role, like I said, with Christian Wood out, and his percentages aren't great this year or his stats. So I think you could go out there and definitely buy Cousins low. And if he still works himself into shape, which I think he is since he hasn't really played in 2 to 3 years, he could get things going and start putting up some pretty decent stat lines, which we've seen sometimes this season. So I think you could get him on a discount. And the fifth and final center I would look to try to trade for or buy low this week's Karl-Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Towns now, he's been out a month with this COVID issue, and it's really hit him hard, obviously, with him out a month. We haven't seen Towns now play since January 13th or something. And on the season, he's barely played at all, really, as Towns. He had a dislocated wrist that he missed a bunch of time. On the season, his averages are great, though. 22 points a game, 12.5 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 2.8 blocks, 1.5 threes a game, 46% from the field, and a nice 96% from the line. But the problem is Karl-Anthony Towns, he went in the top 5 of most fantasy drafts, and he's just not playing this season. I think he's only played a handful of games, anywhere from 5 to 8 games, I believe he's played in. And that's a big hit for fantasy owners who obviously took him in the first round. And if you're a Towns owner, I don't blame you if you're frustrated and trying to get rid of him for anything. But on the other side of things, if you're up there in the standings or right in the middle of the pack, this is the time to make a move for Karl-Anthony Towns before he comes back any day now. But I've been saying this the last few weeks. I thought he would be back by now in the lineup. But this has hit him hard, and we'll see when he comes back. But his value's at its lowest, and this is the time to buy him low. So that's a few centers I would buy low here in Week 8 of the fantasy basketball season.